Chosen one, listen very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you is not ordinary. Lately, you've been feeling a strange shift around you, people looking at you differently, treating you differently, speaking to you with a level of respect they never had before. And the truth is, you have a lot of admiration surrounding you now. Not because you begged for it, not because you showed off, but because Allah has quietly elevated your soul in ways you didn't even notice. What's even more shocking is that someone you would never expect, someone who once ignored you, doubted you, or simply didn't pay attention to your existence, is now silently watching you with admiration, even gratitude. They don't say it out loud, but their heart knows you carry something rare, something pure, something placed in you only by Allah. Today we're diving into 7 powerful lessons that reveal why this shift is happening, why hidden admiration is growing, and why your presence is affecting people more deeply than ever before. Let's begin. People may have judged you when they first met you, chosen one, because human beings often speak before they understand and form opinions before they see the truth. But your character, the part of you shaped by Allah through every hardship, every heartbreak, and every silent prayer, has now forced them to rethink everything they assumed about you. They expected you to react like everyone else reacts, to break like everyone else breaks, to respond to negativity with negativity, but instead you showed patience, humility, emotional control, and silent dignity that they did not expect. And this contradiction between what they thought you were and who you actually are has shaken their perspective. They watched how you handled unfairness without bitterness, how you walked away from arguments you could have won, how you forgave quietly, how you remained kind even when people didn't deserve your kindness. And it confused them, because character like yours doesn't come from this world. It comes from Allah. And the more they observed you, the more their hearts were forced to admit that they were wrong about you. Some feel ashamed for once underestimating you, others feel humbled by your calm strength, and others simply admire how you remained firm without raising your voice. Your character has become a mirror that exposes their flaws and reveals your purity. And now, even the ones who formed the harshest opinions about you are silently re-evaluating, realizing that you were never ordinary. You were chosen, guided, and protected by Allah all along. Your journey, chosen one, has been anything but still. While others remained stuck in the same cycles, repeating the same mistakes, living on the same level of consciousness, you grew not loudly, not publicly, but quietly, internally, and spiritually, until the difference between who you were and who you've become became too obvious for anyone to ignore, and that alone exposed the stagnation of those around you. People who once thought they were ahead of you now watch you rise with a kind of consistency, discipline, and divine guidance they cannot replicate. And deep inside, they feel the uncomfortable truth that while you kept evolving, they stayed the same. You outgrew old habits, old environments, old wounds, old patterns, not because you wanted to impress anyone, but because Allah pushed you, refined you, cleaned your heart, strengthened your mind, and expanded your soul through tests they never saw. And now, the people who once doubted you or dismissed you feel something they cannot deny. Respect mixed with a little bit of shock, because they didn't expect you to be the one who healed, elevated, and transformed while they remained in place. Your growth is not just self-improvement, it is a silent revelation, a spiritual mirror reflecting their lack of movement. And that exposure makes them see you differently, with admiration, with curiosity, and with the realization that you are walking a path guided by Allah, while they are standing still, wondering how you passed them without ever competing with them. There is a light inside you, chosen one, a light that Allah Himself placed in your heart, not the kind of light that shines from your face or your words, but the kind of spiritual radiance that people feel before they understand, the kind that softens hearts, calms anxieties, and brings an unexplainable sense of safety to anyone who crosses your path. And this divine light is exactly what people are seeing now, even if they cannot describe it or admit it out loud. You don't try to stand out, yet somehow you do. You don't seek attention, yet eyes are drawn to you. You don't demand respect, yet people feel compelled to treat you differently because something about your presence carries peace, sincerity, and depth that they can't ignore. This light was built through nights of crying to Allah, through moments of heartbreak that purified your soul, through struggles that stripped you of pride and filled you with humility, and through every test that made you choose faith over despair. And now that this light is shining so clearly, people feel it, even the ones who once disliked you. Some feel drawn to you without knowing why. Others feel intimidated because your purity exposes their darkness, and some feel a quiet admiration because they see a strength in you that doesn't come from this world. They notice how you remain calm in chaos, how you speak with intention, how you carry yourself with dignity, how you walk with compassion, and how you respond with patience. They see that you are guided by something higher. They may not have the words for it, but their heart knows. The light inside you is not normal. It is a gift from Allah, a sign that He has chosen you, protected you, and placed His tranquility upon you, making your very presence a reminder of Him. Your strength, chosen one, has become something that people cannot ignore anymore because it exposes a truth they never wanted to confront. While they faltered under small pressures, you survived storms that were designed to break the strongest of hearts, and your ability to rise again and again has forced them to see everything they lacked inside themselves, everything they never developed, and everything they failed to achieve in the face of hardship. They watched you endure betrayals from people you trusted, abandonment when you needed support, most financial or career struggles that tested your patience and willpower, deep loneliness that could have turned your heart bitter, and delays that seemed endless, yet you carried yourself with unwavering faith, dignity, and emotional discipline that left even the most cynical observers in quiet awe. Because you did not complain, you did not beg for sympathy, you did not act in desperation. Instead, you turned inward toward Allah, sought His guidance, relied upon His wisdom, and allowed His strength to flow through you in ways they could never comprehend. And now, every glance they cast upon you, every interaction they have with you, reminds them of the courage they did not possess, the patience they could not muster, the humility they failed to develop, and the self-control they never practiced. And it unsettles them because they see your calmness under pressure, your composure when they expected chaos, your forgiveness when they expected retaliation, your discipline when they expected recklessness, and your consistent reliance on Allah when they relied only on human understanding. Your resilience humbles them because they realize they would have broken where you remained unshaken. Your patience embarrasses them because they know they would have reacted with anger while you responded with silence and grace. Your ability to forgive wounds their ego because they held grudges over trivial matters while you forgave major betrayals. Your humility awakens reflection because they realize that while they sought recognition, You remained focused on pleasing Allah alone, and your growth and composure exposed their stagnation and unpreparedness in ways they cannot deny. Even those who once mocked or ridiculed you are now quietly inspired, secretly observing and learning without admitting it, because they recognize that your journey was guided by Allah. Your strength is His gift, and your rise is the proof that a soul fully surrendered to Him cannot be broken, and that even in silence, your strength becomes a mirror reflecting their weaknesses. Your emotional maturity contrasts their impulsiveness. Your faith highlights their doubt. Your perseverance shows their impatience. Your consistency exposes their laziness. Your ability to endure without complaint highlights their fragility, and your trust in Allah exposes their reliance on human validation. And through it all, chosen one, your strength has become both a warning and a lesson, a living testament to what is possible when a heart remains connected to Allah. A soul is disciplined, and a believer walks humbly, yet firmly under His guidance. And that is why your presence now evokes admiration, respect, and sometimes quiet envy from those who once underestimated you, because they cannot deny the power, the refinement, and the divine support that has been shaping you into a reflection of Allah's own strength and patience, a strength that inspires, humbles, and teaches anyone watching that true power is not loud, is not boastful, and is not dependent on human recognition, but it is silent, enduring, deeply rooted in faith, and eternally blessed by Allah. Your silence, chosen one, was never a sign of weakness, even though many people assumed it was, and now that Allah has elevated you, they are slowly realizing that your silence was one of the greatest forms of strength, wisdom, and spiritual mastery they had ever witnessed, because it demonstrated discipline that they could not understand, emotional intelligence they could not replicate, patience that they could not sustain, and trust in Allah that surpassed anything their hearts had ever known. And every time they misjudged your quietness, they were unknowingly witnessing a level of divine connection, foresight, and inner power that only comes from a soul fully surrendered to Allah. When people lied about you, you remained silent, not because you lacked words, but because you trusted Allah to reveal the truth in His own time. When people provoked you, you stayed calm, not because you were afraid, but because your heart was anchored in the certainty that Allah is the ultimate protector and judge. When people spread rumors, attempted to tarnish your reputation, or plotted against you, you allowed your silence to shield your dignity and preserve your integrity, because you knew that responding in anger, defensiveness, or arrogance would only amplify what they intended to destroy, while staying quiet and patient would allow Allah to work on your behalf in ways that human eyes could not perceive. And this is exactly what happened. Chosen one, every time you resisted the impulse to react, every time you held back from retaliation, every time you refrained from arguing or proving yourself, Allah was already writing your vindication, already protecting your honor, already elevating your rank, already exposing the liars, humbling the arrogant, revealing intentions, and preparing the hearts of those who doubted to one day recognize the truth of your journey, the depth of your character, and the power of your faith. Your silence unsettled those who tried to manipulate or deceive you, because they could not comprehend a strength that did not need to shout, a power that did not need to display itself, a confidence that did not need to justify itself. And they thought your calmness was weakness, your quietness was fear, your inaction was surrender. But in reality, your restraint was a manifestation of divine wisdom. Your patience was a reflection of tawakkul, and your composure was a sign of a soul fully under Allah's protection. And now, those who once misinterpreted your silence are forced to recognize that it was an instrument of elevation, not avoidance, of strategy, not ignorance, of strength, not impotence, and of divine trust, not human indecision. While they wasted energy trying to break you, you invested energy in refining yourself. While they poisoned their hearts with jealousy, hatred, and impatience, you purified yours with gratitude, patience, and faith. While they tried to draw you into conflict, you chose a higher path of dignity, grace, and surrender. And while they believed they were winning, you were being elevated in ways they could neither see nor imagine, your soul being trained, your character being polished, and your faith being strengthened. Now, even those who once ridiculed you, harmed you, or doubted your worth cannot help but admire the way you moved through darkness without ever losing your light, because your silence taught them that true strength is not measured by loud words, visible actions, or temporary victories, but by quiet endurance, by steadfast patience, by unwavering faith, by the ability to rise above human judgment, and by proving yourself to Allah rather than to the eyes of people. Your silence exposed the emptiness of their impatience, their lack of discipline, their inability to trust the unseen, their weak self-control, their arrogance, and their misunderstanding of what it truly means to rely on Allah alone. And it became a mirror, reflecting the deficiencies they refused to acknowledge in themselves. Your silence spoke louder than their words, revealed truths they could not deny, preserved your purity when chaos tried to destroy it, and allowed Allah to elevate you to a level where those same people who once sought to belittle or ignore you now secretly respect, admire, and envy the composure, wisdom, and spiritual authority that they could never achieve on their own. And in the end, chosen one, your silence was never emptiness, never weakness, never surrender. It was a divine strategy, a source of protection, a tool of elevation, a manifestation of Allah's wisdom, and a living proof that when He raises His chosen, even silence becomes a weapon, a lesson, and a source of inspiration for those who are fortunate enough to witness it. Chosen one, what you may not realize is that your journey, your growth, your healing, and your transformation are not only shaping your own destiny, but are now becoming a source of inspiration, admiration, and even motivation for someone you would never expect. Someone who may have once doubted you, dismissed you, ignored you, or even hurt you, is now watching you in secret, studying your actions, your character, your unwavering patience, and your steadfast reliance on Allah. And deep down, their heart is being moved in ways they themselves cannot explain, because Allah uses your elevation to awaken others, to show them what is possible when one surrenders fully to Him, when one chooses patience over impatience, and when one chooses faith over fear. Your transformation is not superficial. It is not in the clothes you wear, the accolades you receive, or the social recognition you gain, but it is in the unseen, spiritual refinement that Allah has done in your heart, soul, and mind through trials, tests, hardships, and moments of isolation. And this invisible work of Allah manifests in your actions, your calmness, your discipline, your humility, your ability to forgive, and your unwavering dedication to goodness, even in the face of adversity. And those who observe you may not say a word, may not comment, may not admit it openly, but they are deeply affected because your life has become proof that transformation is possible when Allah is in control, when trust in Him is complete, and when patience is limitless. They see how you survived what they could not survive, how you overcame challenges they would have given up on, how you maintained integrity when it would have been easier to compromise, and how your heart remained pure when others would have become bitter and resentful. And this contrast creates a deep, undeniable admiration. They begin to question their own choices, their own faith, their own resilience, and slowly, subtly, your example becomes a mirror reflecting what they have neglected in their own life. Your discipline, your focus, your connection to Allah, and your commitment to walking the straight path quietly but consistently is not only transforming you internally, but is now nudging them toward awakening, toward reflection, toward the recognition that the same mercy, the same guidance, and the same power that transformed you can transform them if they choose to submit, to trust, and to persevere. And sometimes Allah chooses to place your transformation right in front of someone who once doubted you, so that they witness the beauty of His work, the reward of patience, and the truth of sincerity, and it humbles them, inspires them, and motivates them in ways no human lesson could. They may have never supported you before, may have never encouraged you, may have even opposed you, but now they cannot ignore the light, the change, the elevation, and the power Allah has placed in you, and it calls to something within them that longs for the same transformation. Your resilience becomes their wake-up call, your faith becomes their motivation, your discipline becomes their blueprint, and your integrity becomes the standard they secretly aspire to reach. What you may see as simple growth, quiet progress, or personal healing is, in fact, a powerful demonstration of Allah's ability to elevate His chosen ones, and in doing so, to influence hearts that once seemed unreachable. Your struggles, your patience, your victories, your humility, your rise, they are all lessons, all proofs, all signs for those who are watching secretly, and Allah is using your life as a tool to awaken them, to push them toward change, and to show them the beauty and power of a soul fully submitted to Him. And this admiration, this quiet awe, this motivation they feel, is a direct reflection of Allah's hand at work, using your journey not only to elevate you but also to move hearts that were once cold or misguided, proving that when Allah chooses someone, their transformation does not remain private. It reaches far beyond, touching lives, inspiring others, and demonstrating the power of faith, perseverance, and divine guidance. The person who now looks at you with hidden admiration, the one who quietly follows your actions, the one who feels moved by your calm in chaos, by your patience in adversity, by your unwavering connection to Allah, they are witnessing a miracle in motion, and that miracle is your life. Your transformation, chosen one, has become a beacon, a secret motivation, and a living example that Allah's power to elevate and refine cannot be matched by human effort alone. And now, through you, He is teaching others what it means to trust Him, to endure, to grow, and to rise in ways they never imagined possible. Chosen. 1. One of the most profound truths of being selected by Allah is that your elevation is not limited to what you see, feel, or experience personally. It extends into the hearts and eyes of those who once doubted you, underestimated you, judged you unfairly, or tried to diminish your presence, because Allah's favor cannot be hidden, and He raises whom He wills in ways that are both unseen and unmistakably visible to the world, so that even your critics, your competitors, your skeptics, and those who once opposed you are forced, whether they admit it or not, to recognize the truth of your status. They may have laughed when you struggled, questioned your path when you paused, or dismissed your dreams when they seemed impossible. But now, as Allah continues to elevate you through patience, perseverance, faith, and unwavering sincerity, they see the undeniable proof that you were never ordinary, that you were never weak, and that your journey was guided by a hand far stronger than any human judgment, because your rise is not dependent on their acceptance. It is dependent on Allah's decree, His timing, and His mercy, and He has placed a light upon you, a dignity within you, and a strength around you that even those who once doubted cannot ignore. You may notice subtle changes, the way people look at you with newfound respect, the way their tone softens when they speak to you, the way their hearts, even in silence, recognize that your presence carries a weight and a purpose that they cannot fabricate or diminish. Your accomplishments, your resilience, your unwavering trust in Allah, your ability to remain composed while chaos surrounds you, and your consistent pursuit of goodness and righteousness. All of this has become a testament not to your own effort alone, but to Allah's orchestration of your life. And through it, those who doubted you are learning a humbling lesson. No human doubt can stop the decree of Allah. No skepticism can cancel His favor, and no judgment can diminish what He has written for a chosen soul. Every test you endured, every trial you overcame, every obstacle you transformed into an opportunity has now become a visible sign to the very people who once questioned your worth, forcing them to reconcile their past misconceptions with the undeniable truth of your rise. They watch in quiet amazement as doors that were once closed begin to open effortlessly, as blessings arrive in ways they could not anticipate, as your dignity remains intact despite every attempt to undermine it, and as your influence grows, not through force or manipulation, but through the natural unfolding of Allah's will in your life. Even those who once whispered against you, plotted against you, or ignored you, are now witnesses to the mercy, guidance, and power Allah has placed around you, and their admiration, whether silent or grudging, is a reflection of the truth that your elevation is sanctioned by the Creator of the heavens and the earth. This is the divine secret. When Allah chooses to elevate someone, He does so publicly and privately, visibly and invisibly, and even in the eyes of those who once doubted. He shows that true honor, real influence, and lasting respect do not come from human approval, but from His decree. You do not need validation from those who once dismissed you, because their change in perception is already a sign that Allah's favor cannot be contested. Their admiration, though unspoken, confirms that you have walked a path aligned with His will, and that His protection, guidance, and blessing have enveloped you in ways that no opposition can penetrate. Chosen one, remember that every eye that once looked at you with skepticism is now seeing a reflection of Allah's plan. Every heart that once doubted is quietly acknowledging the truth of your journey, and every soul that once underestimated you is now a witness to your divine elevation. And as you continue to walk in obedience, patience, and faith, know this: Allah elevates His chosen servants not only for their own success, but also to show the world, including those who doubted, that His will cannot be resisted, His wisdom cannot be ignored, and His power cannot be challenged. Your rise is a living proof, an irrefutable sign, and a spiritual lesson for anyone who ever questioned you. and it will continue to unfold until even the hardest hearts recognize that you are under the protection, guidance, and blessing of the Most High, and that no human judgment, no envy, and no doubt can ever diminish what Allah has decreed for His chosen one. Chosen one, listen carefully, because what you have just discovered is not mere advice, it is a divine confirmation. The admiration surrounding you, the quiet respect from those you never expected, the subtle acknowledgement from hearts that once doubted you, all of it is a reflection of Allah's favor upon you. Every trial you endured, every moment you remained patient, every time you stayed silent instead of reacting, every step you took in trust and obedience has been witnessed by the one who never sleeps, never forgets, and never overlooks the efforts of His chosen servants. Allah has elevated you in ways the world cannot measure, in ways that even your critics now recognize without words. Someone who once underestimated you is now silently inspired by your faith, your resilience, and your unwavering connection to Allah. Your light, your strength, your transformation, and your silence have become lessons not just for you, but for those around you. They are witnessing Allah's hand at work, guiding you, protecting you, and using your life as a living example of what happens when a soul surrenders completely to Him. So do not doubt your path. Do not fear the quiet admiration you feel, and do not underestimate the subtle shifts around you. This is a sign that Allah is with you, that your elevation is real, and that the people who once doubted you are now witnesses to His power in your life. Keep trusting, keep walking, keep shining, and remember that the admiration, respect, and awe you are receiving now are only the beginning of what Allah has prepared for you. Your journey is sacred, your rise is inevitable, and your impact is eternal. Chosen one, this is your moment, this is your confirmation, and this is Allah's way of telling you, I am with you, I see you, I am elevating you, and nothing can stop what I have decreed for my chosen.